whatever traditions we have, in some way or another, they do benefit a woman.
I've noticed the men in this country, your mahrams definitely, but even the non-mahrams actually, when you go out, they're so helpful. I think especially as female entrepreneurs, where we have so many roles to juggle, it's super beneficial to be living in a community, in a country where everybody's kind of helping out.
I also believe there are more and more platforms opening up which are supporting women entrepreneurs here in Pakistan. My in-laws and my family, they're my priority, and business comes after that. You take care of them, they take care of you. I think it's a simple rule.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our podcast series, Muslimah Entrepreneur from niqaabibloggerscommunity. Today we're sitting here with Anam, who's an entrepreneur, mashallah, and has much to teach us about her entrepreneur journey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Anam?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
It's nice to have you here. So briefly, can you tell us what do you do? What's your business about? Basically, just a brief introduction of who you are and what you're currently working on.
Yeah, so I've done bachelor's in science in jewelry design and gemological sciences from Pakistan Institute of Fashion and Design. And I am the founder of Pakistan's first online diamond and gold jewelry store, Asavir. Asavir is basically a brand name. And I'm a mother of 3 beautiful babies, alhamdulillah. And I live in a grand joint setup.
Allahumma barik, mashallah. Wow. So the first online gold and jewelry business, that's incredible. You're right, I've never heard of that actually, mashallah. So that's pretty unique. How did you come up with the idea of something like that?
Basically, my father always believed I have good business acumen. So I was already helping out my mahrams with their business ventures. My mother-in-law used to often say that I should utilize my talents. So finally, in 2017, along with my elder brother, Al-Tahir, we're going to start this gold jewelry business with zero investments. And he said, "You're crazy. How is it possible to start a gold jewelry business with zero investments and will be online?"
Yeah, that's crazy. How did you do it? I'm curious.
Designed many wedding jewelry by the time for the family. I finally launched the page on Facebook and the journey began.
Okay, so so you mentioned actually that your mother-in-law also kind of convinced you to kind of pursue what you've studied basically and actually apply your talents. So how did that work? Because like I think the typical understanding of what the mother-in-law relationship is usually like is not super supportive of like business ventures in particular. So can you tell us a little bit about how that works and yeah, like more about how your mother-in-law is able to support you? That's really amazing, mashallah.
Oh yes, alhamdulillah. And we also live in a grand joint setup actually. I think you have to set your priorities. There's this word, deen mein tarjihat, For me, it's Allah, Rasulullah, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then it's my in-laws and my family. They're my priority. And business comes after that. You take care of them, they take care of you. I think it's a simple rule. And lots of du'as and, I don't know. I think it really depends on your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if that's strong, everything eventually turns out really great.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too, because like, for example, if your relationship with Allah is good, then you're careful about the rights of people. If you're careful about the rights of people because you know that you're going to be answerable, then of course the people will naturally also turn towards you and they themselves will have a soft spot towards you. And they'll also want to actually help you in whatever good intention work you try to do. So that's true. That's a good point. You said you're a mother of 3 little ones, mashallah. How old are your children, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. My eldest one is Musa. He's 8 years old. Mashallah. And then I have a daughter who's 5, and then I have another son who's Isa. He's 2 years old.
Allahumma barik. Wow. I am also a mother actually, and I have 2 little ones. So I'm wondering, how are you doing this? Because it's really difficult with children actually, and just all these roles that kind of come upon women as homemakers and taking care of the children and taking care of the household, all of these things. How do you manage the business while also running a home?
To tell you honestly, like I do believe in a joint setup because I think it gives you a lot of privileges actually.
Yes.
If one should actually focus on the positives. If you focus on the positives, you will somehow realize that, you know, our Pakistani culture, whatever traditions we have, in some way or another, they do benefit a woman. Even, you know, Allah, all the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're there to actually support us. Like if you see my in-laws, my friends, family, they're all of them are actually, they have your back, you know. Like nowhere in the world you can have that actually, because right now I'm recording this interview and my sister-in-law is actually taking care of my kids, you know. You get this only in Pakistan. A lot of house help as well. You only get that in Pakistan.
Yeah.
The maids and everything, you know. So alhamdulillah, I think this is the best country to be, you know, if you're an entrepreneur. A lot of things actually do help you out here.
Yeah, that's true. So for me personally, I wish I could say the same. We don't actually live in a joint family system, but it's again because we have that kind of Western background where we do live in just like, you know, the individual family unit. So, and as it is, my in-laws are actually not even in the country. They were the only ones in Pakistan, actually. Even my immediate family, they're not here. So my husband is the one who has to watch over the kids right now. But yes, the luxury of like, you know, helpers, 24/7 helpers over here, that actually has literally been life-changing for me. And it's opened up so many more possibilities, so many more options basically. So I think you're right, actually. For entrepreneurs, Pakistan is the best place to be because you have so much help. Actually, the society, I totally agree with you. It's built in a way like mashallah, where you can also rely on your sister-in-law. Similarly, like the neighbors, you can actually, like, neighbors over here are actually so helpful versus in America, like you don't even know, like you don't talk to your neighbor for weeks on end sometimes, like, so there's a big difference actually. So I agree with that, subhanallah. So more about your business actually. So what role are you playing specifically in the business?
Actually, look at the marketing, the development of the brand, and, you know, the aesthetics. And my brother, he focuses on the manufacturing. He makes sure that you know, everything is finished beautifully, and obviously the accounts and all that thing. He handles that, and I handle the designing and the marketing aspect.
Oh wow, that's incredible, mashallah. Allahumma barik lakum.
Again, this is another benefit we get as Muslims.
Yes.
Our mahrams, they're there to help us out, they're there to protect us. There are lots of benefits, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I've been noticing this as well since I moved here actually to Pakistan. It's been about 1.5 years now actually. And I've noticed the men in this country, your mahrams definitely, but even the non-mahrams actually, when you go out, they're so helpful. They are so respectful. They will literally go above and beyond to make sure that you're comfortable and that you're well taken care of actually. So they'll offer to do things for you and just so many things, alhamdulillah. So I think especially as female entrepreneurs, where we have so many roles to juggle, it's super beneficial to be living in a community, in a country where everybody's kind of helping out rather than you're just left to fend for yourself like America.
True. The workers, even the technicians, manufacturers, everyone is really respectful. And you can feel that even if you enter into a store, department store, you feel that, you know, people start making a way for you so that you get to the counter and you get your bill done. So everybody is honestly really, really respectful.
I wonder, have you experienced life in like a non-Muslim country? Is that why you're able to compare so well? Because you're so spot on about these things.
Yeah, I did travel when I was studying. When I traveled, I realized that, first of all, there's another aspect to this as well, that we've got lots and lots of minerals and lots and lots of, natural gemstones and everything. Our Pakistan is very, very fortunate in that too. But what we are doing is we're not utilizing all that stuff. So that was also one aspect that I did realize when I traveled. And obviously, another aspect is that you're all by yourself there. There's no one to help you. From picking up bags and everything. I was actually born in Saudi as well. So, I have sort of a touch of that background as well. So when I look here, we are actually treated like queens,
Yes, I agree.
All the ladies who live in Pakistan or Saudi, they are the queens. And our mahram, they're actually just doing the guards. They're fulfilling that responsibility of being.
Isn't that interesting? Like, because when you think of empowerment, right? Because with entrepreneurship, people have this idea of like a certain vision of what they think an empowered woman looks like. But actually, I feel like it doesn't have to be a woman who does it all by herself, because this is what the Western image kind of propagates, right? Where it's a woman who she's doing everything by herself, and she can do this and she can do that, and she works and she earns and all these things. But in these countries, alhamdulillah, we're allowed to thrive in all of our roles because of all the extra help we have. Like, we're not doing everything 100%. Like, for example, like how like you said, like where our mahrams are kind of doing a lot of the stuff for us, actually. So that kind of help is really life-changing, I would say, to the business and to the success of the business as well.
And I also believe there are more and more platforms opening up which are supporting women entrepreneurs here in Pakistan. There's a huge untapped female market which is interested in buying from a female seller. Lots of female labor is available, which is more interested in working under a female boss. So, and the labor here is also less expensive in our part of the world.
Right.
The business registration demands are not that complicated. Plus, Pakistan has exceptional minerals and resources which you can use to start your own brand. So obviously, there are lots and lots of benefits.
Were you saying that there's specific organizations kind of that are promoting women entrepreneurship basically in Pakistan?
Yes, they are. Like I know this. Obviously, Chamber of Commerce is also promoting, and other than that, there's this Black Ninjas, Zishan Afzal, that's like husband-wife duo. They're also supporting. I'm having an exhibition on this Saturday by Youth Club Sisters. So it's basically a sports gala and all girls event, and only girls will be allowed to display their products there. So that's also an interesting thing, that it's a huge event actually. And only the buyers also girls, like they're 13 to 25-year-old girls. And the seller is also ladies only. And they'll be managing the whole show actually. So there are lots of people who are coming towards this, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Like, look at that. I love this about Muslim countries also, where like you have this safe space for women basically, where they can thrive in their own feminine nature with like, with proper barda, and not having to worry about like, men and harassment, because again, like women in other parts of the world, they have to worry so much about that. And I'm not saying it doesn't occur in Pakistan as well, of course it does, but to a certain extent, I feel like due to the culture over here, it's not anywhere near as what it is in a non-Muslim country, for example. Let's see. I wanted to ask you. Okay, so you mentioned that you kind of started this basically recently, 2017. So when you started this, did you envision it getting to the point where it is right now? Where do you see Asavir going in the future? Because you're still in the beginning, I would say, and there's so much more that I'm sure you have planned. So what does the future look like for Asavir?
Definitely, we do plan to open up a shop soon. I obviously did not imagine. I was really excited about it, that obviously we're opening up a first online business. We also have a website, www.asavir.pk, where obviously everybody can go and check out our products. We do plan to move it. I really want to. The biggest aim is actually to help out other female entrepreneurs as well, and even practicing Muslims as well, in order to see that how halal businesses can happen in Pakistan, because it's very important. Because you get really what do you say, intimidate? Yeah, I think that's the word. When you see that people getting likes by using other means, and I think things are changing, especially the World Cup, Qatar. I think they've also inspired many people that, by following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by following whatever is written in Quran, you can actually run your businesses in halal way. You can actually make an impact, create an impact in the world. So I think that's very important, and all of us need to support each other in that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think that's so true. Like, there's many examples that we see in current times where the people who stayed true to Allah, basically, and stayed true to the covenant with Allah, they're the ones who are granted success, actually. Like, even if we see, yes, like Qatar, for example, Allahumma barik, and even some other countries have been recently coming up and overcoming, like, oppressors, basically. It's because they stood true and they stood firm against oppression. They held on to the deen of Allah, basically, and Allah granted them victory. And I think the same can be applied to every aspect of your deen and of your life, literally, because even in business, if you hold firm to your beliefs, if you hold, for example, like you do marketing, so you could talk about this, and I'd like to ask you actually, with the marketing, if you're ever tempted, like, with jewelry marketing especially, this is something that's marketed towards women. So, like, for example, like maybe you've seen, like, bare necks of women with like beautiful jewels sitting across their neck, but this is a form of tabarruj. It's a form of zina being displayed in a way that's not correct. How do you, as a brand that literally sells gold and silver, basically, how do you fight those whispers of shaitan that tell you to market in this way? And if you show a pretty girl that's exposing herself in this way, wearing these jewels, it'll be better and you'll get more success. How do you combat those whispers?
Honestly, we try our best to follow deen as much as possible according to whatever little understanding we have. I love this dua. Allahumma la ma'ti'a lima ataita wa la mu'ti'a lima mana'ta wa la yanfa'u zal jaddi minkal jadd. Oh Allah, no one can prevent what you have willed to give me, and no one can give me what you have willed to prevent. It's honestly a jihad when you just want Allah.
Yes.
If you're on the road of practicing Islam, you can't pick and choose your Islam because your creator has told you what's right way of attaining success. It often happens that if I'm having a problem in the tarbiyah of my children or the business, I go back to searching Quran and Sunnah, and I realize, oh my God, I'm doing it totally wrong. I'm doing a thing which is totally against Sunnah, and that's why I wasn't getting the required result. So life does get hard initially because Shaitan tries his best to deviate you. He tempts you here and there. Shaitan won't obviously disturb the person who's perhaps going to a nightclub, but will definitely give a million temptations to the person who's going to the mosque.
Yes.
But just remember कि अगर आप अल्लाह वाले बन जाएं, तो अल्लाह अपने बंदे का इम्तिहान तो लेता है कि ये मेरा है कि नहीं, मगर उसे ज़ाया कभी नहीं करता.
Beautifully said. I like that. That's so true. I agree 100%. I think everybody goes through trials in life, right? In all aspects of their life, whether it's business or this or that, even with the tarbiyah of their kids, as you mentioned. But you're right. Allah never puts your effort to waste. He will never do that. That's a beautiful. I even really like that dua that you said, actually. So I want to ask you, so what would be your advice then for somebody, for a practicing Muslimah who is an aspiring entrepreneur, maybe? What would be your top advice in order to keep them firm in chasing success through business, while also making sure to please Allah and not earning His displeasure?
First of all, always try to earn with halal means. Even if when hard times strike you, don't stop trying. We are still trying our best to earn in halal means. May Allah give all of us success. Um, I think, firstly, you need a business idea. You don't need lots of money. Like if you're start small, think out of the box and make Allah your best friend. Nobody above Allah, nobody above Allah, and things will definitely work out.
I like that.
I also love this dua, Rabbi inni manzalta alayya min khairin faqir, that
Yes.
Allah,
And then
whatever
Musa
good you
comes
want to
around.
bestow on me. I love this dua.
SubhanAllah. That's a beautiful one. Yes, I think and even the time that he made it at like where he was at this difficult time where he was all alone and going through so much hardship, but he made that dua and SubhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala granted him the best. Like he granted him a beautiful, like a practicing shy, obedient wife through that dua basically, which is the best of provisions of the Sunnah according to one of the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and even a livelihood. So I think that's a really good dua to be making actually as entrepreneurs, as aspiring entrepreneurs as well. Jazakallah khair actually. I want to ask you one last question. So how with your kids, right? What are some tips maybe that you can give to help mothers balance their time? What would you advise?
Okay, I'm an early riser basically. And secondly, if you, obviously you're in a joint setup, I think you should work as in partnership. Honestly, let's be honest about that, because the solo journey is definitely going to be very difficult. So obviously, my brother is there to manage all the manufacturing and all that. But even beside that, taking care of kids itself is a huge duty. And especially, exactly, if you're living in a joint setup. So basically, I'm an early riser. My kids go to school, the elder ones, and then I'm only left with the little one. And then I spend a bit quality time with him. I've made a play area in which obviously he's playing, and then I look into the emails or whatever aspects. I have to take care of, whether it's related to business or the marketing or whatever. That give quality time. I think there's another thing that we need to learn some skills, the soft skills as well. I think it's all about smart work, not hard work. In today's era, this word is actually famous because of reason. Because if you like I get inspired by the old ladies, the Sahabiyas as well, they have such amazing lives, and how did they do it, in just a little lifespan? I think their taluk with Allah, their link with Allah, the connection with Allah, and the fact that they used to follow the Sunnah so vigorously. I think those were the aspects which actually helped them in accomplishing much, much more. Obviously they were humans like us. They had families, they had everything, but still they managed way much more. Like if I look at myself, I think that I'm nothing. I don't know where in Jannah am I gonna be. And all of us are obviously striving for the most Jannatul, what do you say, the top grade of Jannah. But exactly. But then when you start studying them, like the incidents of Hazrat Aisha and all in the Surah Nisa or the Surah Zab, you realize that they were their emotions, they were very natural. Their feelings and everything, that was very very natural. And if we strive, like we just don't stop striving, even if we fall down, we see ourselves that oh my God, I'm doing this sin or that sin. We just don't stop trying, because that's exactly what Shaitan wants. He wants you to disappoint you, and then to just make you believe that you cannot go to Jannah and you should stop doing any good work. So one should obviously try to develop their relationship with Allah, try to follow Sunnah, and just not stop trying.
It's true. I think that's what really granted this commitment to following the sunnah, the commitment to pleasing Allah before everything else. I think that's what granted them so much barakah in their time, right? Where technically, like nowadays, like, you know, we have it's so much easier in terms of a lot of other things, like for example, cooking, right? Like it's so much easier. That process has been sped up so much by, like, you know, already, like we don't have to ground our like wheat to like make rotis, basically. Like a lot of it is already done, but somehow, even though we should have more time, we actually have less time, almost, it feels like. And I wonder if it's just simply a lack of barakah in our time, where like the Sabiya, they were able to do so much more and compete for the same Jannah in such a better way, maybe because of, like, you know, just the barakah in their times, subhanallah. I wanted to get your opinion. So when you're doing a business over here, so in the West, there is this concept of seeking financial freedom, right? Uh, do you resonate with that at all? Is it about like you running a business? Is that the kind of mindset that you're going in with it? Seeking financial freedom, basically, like what are the financial goals? What's that mindset that you have? And would you agree that it is seeking financial freedom?
Oh, no, I think all of us know that that's the responsibility of the mahrams, you know, and again, we are very fortunate that Allah has made this beautiful deen in which He is obviously treating us like the queen. So that's not a responsibility. But I do feel that in today's time, firstly, you should be there to help your mahrams economically or whatever. If you have some talents and you just want to utilize your education, you should be there to help them out. Secondly, I do believe that, you know, even I believe there was this mother, Ummahatul Mu'mineen, who were actually using that money to help people around, you know.
Yeah.
Like if we have example of Qatar, what did they do? They strengthened themselves economically, and now I think this is the biggest and the best platform so far, in which they're using that platform to do the belief of Islam. So that happened because they were actually strong economically. Because in today's time and age, I think that's important, because initially there was industrial age, and then there was this age in which the army was supposed to be really strong. If your army is strong, your country is strong. But today, in today's era, I think it's the economy. If your economy is strong, you'll be able to work on so many aspects, like the way they're supporting Palestine. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
So I think it's high time that, you know, although I'm not a good Muslimah, but I think more young girls should actually come towards this, and they should not let go of their modesty. They should not let go of their deen, and try to help their religion, their society, other Muslims as much as possible. It's the need of the hour. I think so.
Yes, I agree. That's a lot of good insights, actually, because you're right. Even the Sahaba who were wealthy, right? They weren't exactly doing it with this mindset of seeking financial freedom that is now so common in the West. They were doing it in order to help the deen of Allah, actually. That's literally like, even if you think about Hazrat Umar, and if you think about even Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhum, where they would give away their entire wealth or half of their entire wealth at a time, just like that. And they would acquire wealth in order to give it away, not for their own financial freedom, not so they can like, you know, never have to worry about money. It wasn't with that kind of, and they struggled until the end, like so many Sahaba that were actually wealthy and actually rich, until like when they died and when they passed away, they barely had anything to their name left, because they would always give everything away. So that's I didn't think of it that way, actually, and I was wondering about this like whole financial freedom concept. Actually, I wasn't sure. Like I was like, how should we be approaching that as Muslims? So that provides really great a new way to look at it, subhanallah, which I wasn't thinking about previously. So jazakallah khair. Thank you so much.
Yeah, actually, there's this family friend of mine. She's a doctor. She came from Canada, you know, as a delegation to help the people in the northern area. So she actually told me that. She said that I was actually thinking that, you know, how can I contribute to Deen? And I thought that, maybe I should be dedicating my time towards reading Quran and all that. And then she actually motivated me, and she said that, in today's day and age, it's more important to be a practicing Muslim and dive into this modern world. Because our Deen actually needs that today. Because all these teenagers, all the young girls, they're getting inspired by the media, by the all the what do you say? All that whatever social media is trying to show them. So it's important because in 5-star hotels here in Pakistan, she told me that she asked for a place for namaz, and they were shocked that how can a doctor who came from Canada be asking for a place to prostrate. So a lot of work needs to be done.
Yeah, subhanAllah. That's true. I think you're right. I think it would be more beneficial for practicing Muslim to actually delve into the modern world, basically, and show that there is strength in this, and that because as even Islamically, right, there's this concept of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said the strong believer is better than the weak believer. So it is a good thing, and it is a preferred thing for Muslims to seek strength, because when you give da'wah from a strong perspective, from a established point of view, basically, people are more likely to listen. That's just the reality of how the world works, basically. So yeah, I think if you're running a business, and if you're seeking to improve your standing, basically, with that intention, then imagine all of your hard work in the business is also a form of it's a good deed, actually. So you're racking up 3 good deeds, basically, while working and while earning money, because your intention is to actually support the Deen of Allah ultimately with this. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you for having me. Jazakallah khair for having me.
Yeah, this was incredible. It was so beneficial. I really, really enjoyed this conversation, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, we'll keep in touch. Maybe we'll do something again in the future. Inshallah.
Sure, inshallah.
Right.
It was lovely.
All right, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.